For the 4th time, and he's here for his fantastic seminar, The Winning Attitude. Throughout the weekend, he'll be showcasing his line in addition to taking your questions at his fantastic seminar. During this presentation, Jay discusses the mental and physical training that led to his recent championship, as well as taking the audience back in time to his early roots in the sport. His inspirational story of success is
welcome. How's everyone today? It's a great honor to be back here, and a great pleasure to see all my fans of California. This is the kickoff fitness expo of the year to a long season for me. And I was here last year, and I've been here quite a few years, but last year with the same experience of having my own clothing booth and, of course, seeing the fans. And I want to thank you guys all for coming out once again, seeing a lot of new faces, seeing a lot of faces that I've seen in the past, and I do appreciate that support and coming out here and listening to me talk for the, I don't know how many years I've been here. You guys probably been here along the way, some of you guys. So what I want to try to talk about a little bit today is my background and how I began training as a professional bodybuilder, and kind of like my upbringing, which gave me the drive and the discipline to be who I am today. And of course, Mr. Olympia Winner, which has been a huge experience and something that really was somewhat expected and somewhat unexpected along the way. So a lot of you guys know I'm from Massachusetts, central Massachusetts. We got someone from Massachusetts here? We like the West Coast now better. The weather's a lot better out here. I moved actually to the West Coast in 1999. I was in California, then I'm basically in Las Vegas at this point. But I grew up on a 175-acre farm in Sterling, Massachusetts. I was the youngest of 7 kids, and I'm still the biggest in my family out of those children. So that's I got 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And, you know, day-to-day activities, since I was very, very young, I had to work on the farm. I had to bale hay, I had to chop wood, and I had to feed a lot of different animals. And I was up early in the morning before I went to school. And, of course, after school, weekends and vacations were spent working. And as I progressed, my brothers actually got into a concrete business, and that's where I really started building my physique the most, because I was picking up a lot of the forms that mold concrete, and I think I started doing that about 10 years old, and I was able to start actually becoming fit that way. I really never lifted weights, and everyone always thought I was a lot older than I was. You know, I was 12, 13 years old, and everyone thought I was 18 years old because of my physique. And I think the first time I picked up a bodybuilding magazine, I was 12 years old. My sister's boyfriend had an old Muscle Builder magazine, and there are pictures of Chris Dickerson, who was a former Mr. Olympia champion, in there, and he showed me these pictures, and I was like, wow, it's crazy. I never knew the body could look like that. So as I started sifting through the magazines, I went through a stack of magazines and slowly started to read and learn what bodybuilding was all about. And I think really at 12 years old, I said I want to be a bodybuilder, which is kind of a young age, and especially for me, because I grew up working. I played sports in high school as a football player, and I ran track. And for me, I didn't have time to go to the gym because I was working so much, and I was being taught family values of that. I mean, I had to get up. My father used to drag me out of bed in the morning, which, you know, I hated him for that, because I used to, you know, stay up late at night, and then I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do chores before I went to school every day. And as you know, I went into high school and got into sports a little bit. I didn't have to work as much, but I really decided that I was going to commit myself to actually lifting weights when I joined the gym my 18th birthday. I graduated high school, and in that summer, I saved up enough money to go join my local Gold's Gym. It was a $300 membership, and that was when I began my bodybuilding quest to become, you know, something that I wanted to be better than anyone that ever came out of the sport of bodybuilding. I wanted to be, you know, the best bodybuilder in the world at that point. So as I started training, I gained about 50 pounds my first year of training, and slowly worked my way through the ranks, competing. I was the best teenager at 19. I won the Teenage Nationals, of course. Only competed 3 or 4 times before I earned my professional card in 1996 at the Nationals. But really, I think what prepared me for the quest that I was about to do is the discipline and the hard work I was taught as a child, and working on that farm, which I hated every day. But at the time, it was really building my character, and it taught me a lot about values of hard work, which you guys know that are involved in fitness and bodybuilding, whatever it be, weightlifting. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, and you have to sacrifice a lot. And I used to be really, really frustrated when, I'd have school break and I would spend the whole time working and not being able to enjoy the things when everyone else was going on vacation. I was at home working or working in my brother's business. But I was able to save a lot of money that way. I kept myself out of trouble. I never really got in trouble too much as a child, but it really, really taught me that discipline that I needed when I first started to get into bodybuilding. And I kind of really didn't have a path on which I was following. I kind of just read the magazines. And it wasn't like today where you have the internet, where you can follow a lot of things on the internet. There was no internet at that time, so I just looked at magazines and sat in libraries and read books on fitness and a lot of nutrition things, and I slowly learned that way how to develop my physique, and slowly began to brand myself. When I turned professional, I came out with small little mail order T-shirts, and I used to write back and forth to the fans through hand letters. I used to get fan mail, to my P.O. box, and I'd write back and forth to fans, in the United States and all over Europe, and I never realized how big the European market actually was. You guys think it's big over here. It's crazy actually what it's like in Europe. I mean, the fans come out like almost double in the United States, because they don't get to see a lot of bodybuilders as much. They're not real keen on the nutrition and all the training aspects that we have here in the United States. So as those letters started to pile in, I built a pretty solid fan base, and I started offering 8x10 photos and different merchandise. I did baseball hats and just basically T-shirts, just to get people, kind of behind me and kind of root for me when it came time to compete. And I started building what now is the Jay Cutler brand, which has merged into many different things. But what you guys see today is much more than what I really started at. Like I said, it was a small, handwritten mail order business. And now, of course, through the internet, you have the websites, and, I'm pushing a clothing line now. I have virtual training that I launched this year, videos, DVDs, which, really weren't real popular back then. That we had VHS videotapes. Nowadays, we got DVDs, of course, and you can learn so many different things, and I never had these kind of things when I was coming up through the roots, which, now I really like to offer the fans a lot more than what I was able to receive back then and try to learn from. And, along that way, you learn different things, and you, of course, make mistakes, but I think most important to me, when I look back on my career and I say, okay, what did I learn and what did I lose? It's building the Jay Cutler name through the fan relationships, and that's really what I've tried to do along the way. Is I've always tried to treat my fans at the level that I'm at, and really never got too far ahead of myself. And I never really thought in the very beginning that I'd be a multiple Mr. Olympia winner. I mean, of course, your goal is to win the Mr. Olympia and become the best in the world, but it's so far beyond your reach at that point. Starting as a teenager, and it's just funny because nowadays people come up to me and they say, wow, Jay, you're huge, and how long you've been training for. And now, I mean, it's almost scary to say, and people ask me today, like, how long you've been working out for. I say 19 years, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting really old now. It's I'm used to seeing, I remember when I was saying, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, and I think they're having some speaker problems here. It's just the years go by so quickly, and it seems like as a bodybuilder, you kind of push things ahead because of all the competitions you compete in, and you know, a lot of people ask me, what is it like to train, you know, at your level for a bodybuilding competition? And really, all you guys that are competitive, it's on the exact same level. Of course, you know, we have to make a living at what we do, but we live the same lifestyle day in, day out. I mean, I'm a creature of habit. You know, I eat, sleep, and train, breathe bodybuilding. Of course, the only thing that differs in my life is the business aspect of having these personal appearances, running a business of bodybuilding, you know, booking different sponsorships and really having commitments as you build your name and build your brand, that I think, you know, is a lot of people say, well, how do you start and how do I get sponsorship? And, you know, I'm not good enough to do this or do that. But, you know, I wasn't that great either. I mean, I was touted as, you know, a future star possibly, but, you know, unless you really work hard for it, you know, you're not going to achieve anything. So I took my chances. I mean, it's kind of like rolling the dice, and, you know, I just had to basically, you know, start off from the bottom and work my way up, and slowly I moved up. You guys remember, some of you that follow bodybuilding, at my first Mr. Olympia, I was second to last place. You know, I was 14 out of 15. And, you know, of course, the next year I moved up to 8th, and then I was second and really never looked back, being second and first, you know, losing the title, winning it back. The things you learn over those years is, you know, anything can happen at any time, and you have to prepare yourself for that, not only physically but mentally. And I think that's the hardest part about bodybuilding is the mental issue. You have to really have that mental attitude, that winning attitude, that even in failure, you know, you have to be able to step forward, and you have to be able to reach different goals in different ways and be able to revamp things. And, you know, you only realize that through losing things and gaining things. So I've used, you know, different steps in my career where in the beginning, like I said, I wanted to be the best teenager at 19, and I was able to do that. Then I moved into the men's division, and really my focus was trying to be financially secure as a professional bodybuilder. I knew it would take some time possibly to win a pro show, so a few years later I won, you know, my first pro show, and then, you know, my next step was, you know, of course, to compete in shows that I could possibly place and move up and keep building the Jay Cutler name and build that fan base. And, you know, I've been one of the fortunate ones where I've been around so long now. I think my fan base has grown so much, but it really gives me a big drive at this point to have that many people backing you up. When I walk on the Olympia stage, I mean, it's amazing when I walk out and, you know, the place blows up for you because you have so many fans there. I mean, it makes you just, that's what really drives me to compete at the Mr. Olympias. You know, you think about that when you train, and I think about standing here in front of you guys and speaking today. I think about when I'll go to the Arnold Classic and I'll have a lineup for 3 hours long of people that want to, you know, autograph or take a picture. And to me, that's what drives me at this point. I mean, I've already achieved the pinnacle of my bodybuilding career. I mean, I've won the Mr. Olympia, you know, 2 times, lost it once, came back, won 2 more. You know, this year I'm going to head into my, you know, attempt at a 5th Mr. Olympia title in September and try to go back into the record books and be, you know, the only 5-time winner there is. As, you know, right now I'm the only 4-time winner. So I think it's, I have a tough road ahead of me.